We are here with the Buergers, John and Ellen and Aubrey and Emily. And good morning to you all. Good evening to you, for whom it is almost dinner time. And we are excited to talk with you guys. No strangers are you to us, but if there are folks watching this video who don't know who you are and where you are, tell us where in the world are you and what's going on there, and any sort of greetings that you want to share with us.
Well, first, thanks for inviting us to be a part of this conversation. This is great. I'm John, and this is Ellen, and this is Aubrey. And who are you? Emmy. Yes, you're 4. Yeah, so that's Emmy. She's 4, and we are in the country of Bulgaria. We're in the capital city of Sofia, and
Which is in Eastern Europe.
that's right. That's a good way to say. Where is Bulgaria exactly?
Not South America.
Yeah, that's right. Not Bolivia, Bulgaria. That's right. So we're just to the west of Turkey and just to the north of Greece, and just south of Romania. So we're down there in Southeast Europe. We came here last May, and were sent out by you all, New St. Peter's, through Mission to the World, the PCA's missions agency, and we're here to basically help with church planting and with theological higher education. So I'm here working with a school by the name of Elias Riggs Center for Biblical Studies, and Ellen does builds relationships with families and even agencies here in Bulgaria that do special needs care and special needs ministry. And those are kind of the two things that were part of calling us here officially with MTW. So we're kind of wrapping up our first year. We got here May 10 of last year, so May 10 is coming down the pike here in about a week and a half. So yeah.
So it's great to hear. I hadn't realized that you guys were that close, May 11th, to the 2-year anniversary. I'm curious as you go into this, the 1-year anniversary. So as you go into this second year, I'm curious, what did you experience the first year that you believe is probably going to be unique to the first year, and that just won't be the same experience going forward? Maybe things that were good, but also maybe things that were challenging.
Mm-hmm. One of the big things in our first year involves language study. So, and for us, getting time to do language study involves having Aubrey and Emily settled in schools. So there's a lot of adjustment, and for Emily, we had to look quite a long time to figure out what was going to be the best fit for her. So we finally found a school. The Lord provided a school for her at the beginning of this year, 2020. And so if things continue to settle down with the coronavirus, eventually she'll continue in that school, and that will enable John and I to kind of pursue language more effectively and in a more dedicated fashion this next year. And we're really looking forward to that. So that's been a big challenge this first year, is to get Emily settled. Aubrey's at SCA, Sophia Christian Academy, and doing well and settled in there, and she'll continue with that school. So that's one of the big things. Another thing that's big, and this is kind of overarching, is just kind of learning to do the normals of life differently. So still people, we do normal things that other people in the States do, but going to the grocery store, paying bills, cleaning your house, doing laundry, everything has a different sort of rhythm and method. So we are figuring out the rhythms and methods this year that hopefully we will not have to tackle next year, and that can be very exhausting to figure out the rhythms
Yeah, I don't think I would add a lot to that. I think that covers, I'd say, most of the big things. Maybe just one thing that could be added is just that, we have a year now behind us to kind of get to know our fellow team members, our fellow MTW team members. That's helpful, just to get to know people, have a better understanding of who they are and what their values are and their personalities and how they communicate, what their philosophy of ministry is, those types of things. So that's a good, it's good to have a sense of that.
No.
Yeah. And so, Aubrey, would you mind giving us an update on how school has been for you? I mean, I know you're probably not going right now, so a little bit of a shorter school year, but you've been to a lot of different schools. So what's this one like?
It's good. It's interesting. It's like a combination. The thing I think that's interesting about it is they kind of combined all different grades into kind of one classroom. So it kind of feels like a one house schoolroom a little bit. But yeah, sometimes like our grade, we help the younger like kids do their work, which I've never seen in the school before. So yeah, it's interesting.
And actually,
yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Aubrey.
No, I forgot it.
So that Alex just mentioned something. So can you guys give us a brief, or not a brief, whatever you feel is appropriate, sense of the impact of COVID-19 on your lives and ministry?
Yeah, I mean it's like you all, and like a lot of places in the world, but it's pretty shut down here. So the government shut things down about a month and a half ago, and no public parks, no restaurants, no malls, no church gatherings. So people are allowed to go to work if they have to, and go to the grocery store, and that's kind of it for the most part. So yeah, I mean, in one sense, it's well, like everywhere else, it's slowed a lot of things down ministry-wise. A huge thing that happened this summer, our team hosts every summer a large number of interns that come and spend about 2 months with us. And it's an internship program called The Well. And usually we have college-age students or sometimes people just out of college who will come and spend 2 months with us and kind of look at missions, but also really just kind of spend 2 months being mentored, 2 months just kind of reflecting on their own life, reflecting on things going on at home. It's kind of a way to sort of get them away from what is normal and comfortable at home so they can kind of look at things from a new angle that are going on in their lives, but also expose them to missions too. And we had a huge group. We were supposed to have 14 interns come be here this summer. They were supposed to arrive here in just the next few weeks and next couple weeks, and that all had to be completely canceled. So that was definitely a bummer. So having that canceled impacted sort of the plans of many team members, including us to some extent. We had to cancel our May seminary class, so we have classes done in kind of a focused sort of class way of going about things. We don't have classes that are full semester terms, so they're usually just done in short kind of bursts. And we were going to have one such class this May, and in fact, Dr. Brian Franklin, the great Dr. Franklin himself, was going to fly over and teach that class, and so that had to be canceled.
I can attest directly to his disappointment in that development. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, we were all bummed. It was a major bummer. So he was going to come teach on kind of the history of. I wanted him to come and teach on sort of the history of the revivalist movement in the United States and then the impact that movement has had on global missions. And so he was going to come and talk about that. And so that had to be postponed. We hopefully will get to see him this fall, maybe he can come this November. We'll see. And then we have another class in June that a fellow teaching elder of the North Texas Presbytery, his name is June. His name is Ben Graber, and Ben Graber is a North Texas Presbytery teaching elder and also a missionary with MTW in Germany. And he was going to make the pretty short flight, only about an hour, hour and a half, and come teach a class on Old Testament history for us in June. And that we're still waiting to see what's going to happen with that class. So that's kind of how that's impacted at least the seminary's work. Feel free to jump in too.
And just on a day-to-day level, I mean, it's challenging to be home all the time and in the country. And so one of my teammates even said, it's almost like we're not in Bulgaria at different points because we're just home. We don't know the language yet. We're kind of surrounded again with just ourselves as Americans, and so it's kind of almost like we're on an island until you go out again at the grocery store and you're reminded that no, I'm not in the U.S. I'm in Bulgaria, and so that feels a little strange. And at times it's discouraging because we want to learn the language and we want to continue to enculturate and be established here. And so COVID has felt like it's brought those kind of rain clouds, like, I just want to be settled here, and this is making it real hard to feel settled. But we know that through it, the Lord has also given us a lot of time to pray and reflect on kind of all that's happened in the last year. So that's a really good thing about this, is that we've kind of gotten to like stop and be home and spend time kind of reflecting and thinking about what's ahead, what's gone before, and you know, taking the good that God wants us to get out of this through finding ourselves more in Him than what we think should be comfortable and normal for our daily existence. So there's that.
Yeah,
and I think some of the good.
If I recall correctly, when you first moved there, you're in an apartment. But I can't recall the surroundings. Or do you have access to a place to go walking and that sort of thing?
So because the parks are closed, we tend to just walk our neighborhood. So there's sidewalks most places, so we can walk. There's a little place, there's a big cement-like area in the back, and the girls and I can go out back and throw the ball. There's a lot of trash and a lot of kind of not safe areas. So our area of Sophia is a newer area, which means that during communism, they kind of just built the communist block, huge, big cement apartment buildings here in our area, but there aren't houses. So you have a lot of old communist buildings and structures that are somewhat in disrepair. And so that's kind of our situation in the back. There's kind of some kind of broken areas, but we do have that to go to. So we're thankful. And there's a lot of fruit trees, which are beautiful. So it's kind of a neighborhood of contrast when we go out. So there's not beautiful parks right in our backyard, but we do have some cement for the girls to play on. So we're glad for that. And we're noticing things like bugs and moss and things we didn't notice before. So.
And when Ellen says it's not safe, what she means is like there's glass on the ground. Like you got to be worried about, you know, your little one falling and scraping herself up. But actually, the crime rate here is very, very low.
Yeah.
So it's way safer here than it is almost anywhere in Dallas. From that standpoint, we're actually pretty safe from a crime standpoint.
Yeah, we've got wonderful neighborhoods, very, very friendly neighborhood that we're in. So very thankful for them.
Well, one of the interesting things to me about reading your updates over the last year is seeing you guys be very open about your struggle with what I guess I'm going to call now social isolation, which is now like the buzzword, and maybe that's a name for something you guys have been feeling as you figure out how to engage this new culture and meet people and things like that. And you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, but how's that been? You feeling like you're a little bit isolated from everything, and what's the Lord teaching you in that?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think a big piece of that is definitely language. The language here is very difficult. It's hard. It's funny. We went to go see some friends in Germany over Christmas, and we got in the plane, and it's a German airline plane, and so they've got like all these in-flight magazines and things that you can read. They're like German publications, and we're like, never thought I'd be in a place in life where I'm looking at Germany going, I really wish I was learning that right now. Yeah, but it's like, but that's kind of how we felt. Like we're looking at Germany going, no, I think I could do that. That would be great if I had to do that right now instead. Yeah, but so Bulgarian's hard, and it just takes a long time to learn. And I think one of the hard parts, I think the social isolation thing, I would say the biggest part has not been a lack of openness among Bulgarians. They're actually very open people. And in fact, they're easier to get to know and talk to than Germans. Big shocker. But I mean, they just, generally speaking, that's kind of been the case. But it's, the hard part is just with, especially finding place for any and sort of just kind of being free to sort of connect. And when the needs in the home kind of ground you at home, then you're kind of stuck in the English bubble that is your home. And so your home is sort of the English speaking bubble. And so if you can't break out of that bubble very easily and sort of expose yourself to Bulgarian all the time, it just makes it it's just a longer process of picking it up. It doesn't mean you can't. It's just going to take longer. Yeah, that's been a big piece of it.
So
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if any one of you has had particularly found it easier, like just taken to it a little more naturally. If any of you have had that experience, or has it been sort of universally or uniformly about the same level of difficulty?
I would say John's more of a word guy anyway, so I would say he's doing better than I am. So we're working on finishing up the first book, and we're both at the same spot. So there's A1, A2 language levels, and we're about to finish our A1, A2 levels together. But we also use it differently. Kind of the areas where I'm using language tend to be different than the areas John is using language, and so I think we also kind of know some different things than the other one does based on kind of where our roles are and where they take us around the neighborhood and around the city. Yeah.
So before you guys left, though, wasn't it Aubrey? Weren't you the one who was kind of the expert? Are you still? Are they catching up with you, or are you still the Bulgarian expert?
They're above me now. Yeah, I don't do as much Bulgarian now as they do because I only learned at school. So I just do a little a day now, but they do a ton. They're above me now.
But she knew enough that when her grandparents came to visit last month, she was able to take them around town and order food and do all the talking that needed to happen. So that was,
Well, we were gone.
It's really safe here, so
She
I
can
can
get around.
take her buses and stuff like that. So I just showed them
You go too.
You go, and he goes.
On the train,
Yeah.
on the bus. Yep. Yeah, Emmy gets real excited when she gets to ride in the car. She's used to buses and metros, so cars are novelty now. I think one thing spiritually that, COVID has emphasized all the more and us not feeling settled, being isolated even more is just the truth that we're pilgrims and that Abraham was a wanderer in a foreign land. I feel that even more strongly, and I know as Christians we're supposed to feel that and know that, but this is just one of those things the Lord emotionally is allowing to kind of make that more raw. That we're definitely, waiting for our eternal home with the Lord, and to not feel settled, to actually feel more normal as Christians. So, but COVID's definitely bringing that to a whole new level for sure.
It's also forcing us to have to put up with each other in ways that, being able to leave the house and escape to someplace you have to be, kind of provides that sort of escape hatch. And when you don't have any more escape hatches, then you got to stay home and work on stuff and deal with stuff, which is hard and messy and difficult, but good in the long run. And I think I feel like we've had a lot of fun times as a family. I feel like over the last 2 weeks too. We've had some good burger rage parties over the weekend at various moments that have been good. So that's been nice. And just some times of prayer and family worship together. That's been good too. I feel like that's kind of the good and bad from a family side, I guess, of this for us.
Yeah. We're thankful that the Lord has used this to have you say Peter stuff online. We've enjoyed the different times we've been able to go to the YouTube site and join in with the hymn sing and different services, and that's really good encouragement to us to join in with around the world being isolated.
Yeah, because church is really hard right now in Bulgaria because we can't understand like most of the things they're saying and singing. So. No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Do you like to sing?
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for sharing those things. I think of even like the Heidelberg question one. I think we're all learning perhaps more acutely now that the Lord really is our only comfort in life and death. Like you said, John, places we go, or even sometimes here in Dallas, just like the commute to or from work can be a comfort, or you're just kind of there in your car, but now everyone's here together as a family, and there's no escape. And it's interesting what the Lord's teaching us in that. So I want to certainly continue to chat along these lines. I'm not trying to push you guys off of the call in asking this next question, but the question is, what are we're getting updates from you guys and seeing those prayer requests, but maybe talk through some unique ways that New St. Peter's folks can pray for you guys, and how would you have us do that?
Yes. Go ahead. Actually, that'd be great. If you wanted to look at the list there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So along the lines of schooling, we would just ask for prayer that when Emily's able to return to school, that that we have a sustainable situation for her. And I guess what I mean by that is right now I have a 2-hour commute in the morning and a 2-hour commute to pick her up. Once again, that looks very different than in the US. So, you know, we're on the metro. I have time to read. Emmy has lots of social interaction through that time. And she's at a good school. And that's worth a lot to us. So, but you can pray that we'll have wisdom to know whether we should maybe make a move this year to move closer to Emily's school, so I don't have to travel so far, or maybe switch schools if the Lord would provide another one that would be a better fit. But there are not very many schools in Sophia that incorporate children with special needs and have people on staff who are experienced with kids with Down syndrome and other special needs like hers. So it's a big deal. So that's a big one. A second one for us would be just growth in language and opportunities to use it, and the humility to take those opportunities and to jump in. So
Language learning is a very humbling thing, which is we're pretty prideful people. And it's a tough thing to have to enter into, like exposing the fact that you know less than the children in the room. You probably actually know less than some of the dogs in the room of like what the language is that's being spoken. You know what I mean? And so like you kind of have to be willing to sort of let everybody know that. And the only way you learn is by letting everybody know that again and again. It's the only way you pick up the language, you know. So you can pray just for humility and sort of a willingness to just grasp that a demonstrative way in which we show people that we love them is to learn their language. And it is a sort of proof in the pudding sort of way to say, I love you so much, we moved here and we're learning your very difficult language, you know. And that's one of the hardest things I would say we're probably facing. Yeah. I think direction for the school, direction for Alliance Riggs. We're at a place right now where we're going through serious kind of institutional assessment, where we're just really needing to kind of assess who are we reaching, and who have we just been telling ourselves we've been reaching but we haven't, and how does that need to shape where we go from here, and what direction we kind of need to take the school. There's a whole lot I could say to fill that in, but that's kind of a summary prayer request, I guess, for Alliance Riggs. Yeah, Aubrey, do you want to say that? Okay, Aubrey just kind of whispered over here, she's right. We need some more SEA teachers for Sophia Christian Academy. I'm going to probably take up a couple classes this fall, actually, and teach the high school. So I'm going to teach history. I'm going to teach 19th century history and some geography. I might work into a little bit of kind of high school level philosophy, theology, worldview stuff too. So, but you know, the ideal is to have enough teachers working for the school that the missionaries can kind of focus on the things that they were sort of brought over to do. So you can just pray the Lord will provide teachers for the school long term. We're kind of going through a shortage right now, and evidently I think this is the worst shortage that SEA has seen in its like 12, 15 years of existence. So yeah. So you can pray the Lord will send teachers, either just people who are willing to teach for a semester, or even a full year would be fantastic. But our newsletter will include sort of links people can follow to find out more about that. And if they want to actually get in touch with the headmistress who's over the school, she is fantastic. She's a wonderful lady. and a member of our team, and we love her a lot. And she's a great person to work with. So if they want to find out more through personal contact, we can definitely facilitate that too. Yeah.
That's great. And yeah, so we'll look for those links in your update, and certainly would encourage folks that have the ability to do that to consider it. What a cool opportunity for them too. So Aubrey, do you have anything that you want to say to your buddies or anyone out there on the World Wide Web?
Hope you're doing well. Hi.
Yeah,
I love you, Mom. I love you. I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to Disney World. We love you guys. We have missed New St. Peter's a lot this last year in many ways. And we miss worshiping with you on Sundays. We miss singing. We miss a lot of things. We miss conversations and lunches and having people over and hanging out. So we thank you guys. We want to thank the whole church for your love and support. We've gotten lots of emails and letters and texts and video calls from people in the church that have just encouraged us this last year tremendously. So you guys have helped to soften the blow of a first year. So thank you for that.
well, and you guys are greatly missed by folks here. And Ellen, I was telling John a little bit ago before we started this recording that just weekly I'm talking with folks who relay to me how profound your family's ministry in their life has been. And that's something that, like, over the last year, I've been learning just the reverberating sort of ways that you guys are still affecting folks here. And that's beautiful to me. That's how it should be. Like, you know, the deep roots that y'all have here in the ministry that folks watching this will undoubtedly be recalling as they see you guys. So thank you. We are praying for you all. And in this weird time of uncertainty, certainly want to acknowledge that for our missionaries, like, maybe some of this are things that you feel regularly, just uncertainty about the future or about, feeling relationally connected, especially as y'all are new there. We talked with Luke Smith on another call, and he was relaying how like men who are now grown men that he had ministered to as 6th grade kids when he got to the village in Cambodia were now his friends, and they were encouraging him in many ways. And God willing, you guys will see some of those fruits in years to come. But those fruits are being born out here in Dallas is really what I wanted to say. So thank you guys for that. We love you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll reiterate that. It's a wonderful situation in the church, and I love the pastors we have, and yet that doesn't replace or fill the burger-shaped hole that just the presence you guys had among us, and the ministering. Yeah, you get quoted occasionally, in conversations. Well, John or Ellen did this or said that, and it's good. I think I can't think of a better thing than to be that the loss is felt, because the alternative is not great, right? It's not great. So it's unfortunate, but it's just part of being pilgrims. I think Ellen, you mentioned that earlier, that a part of the pilgrim life is to be acquainted with loss, and to be acquainted with missing, because these things actually matter and they actually impact us for good. And therefore, when they're gone, they're felt heavily.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we feel it too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty sad with Easter. That was harder than Christmas.
Hmm.
Yeah, we missed Monday, Thursday, and Easter.
yeah. Well, in a sense, we did too.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't think that people appreciated my bedroom as much as they did Flagpole Hill. So look forward to that in years to come. Guys, normally on a call like this, we would just end in prayer, but I'm going to let folks do that as they watch it. Just pray for you guys, and they will, as you know. So we will say to you all, we love you, and we're praying for you. And one of the things that Jay and I have talked about is it's strange that it took COVID-19 for us to figure out that we should be Zooming with our friends and missionaries around the world. And so hopefully we can do this more often and just let folks see your faces and hear how the Lord's working in your life. But know that you're loved and missed deeply.
Well, this has been really encouraging for us, and we would look forward to whenever you guys want to do that in the future. We would love to do that. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. This has been great. Thank you for your encouragement, guys.
Amen.
Can you say bye-bye?
All right. Bye-bye.
Can you say bye-bye? Can you blow
Bye-bye.
kisses?
Oh, that's a good way to end the video. One more. Emmy, do you have one more blow and kiss?
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, virtual hug. There's nothing better.
COVID-19 is hard on huggers.
Yes.
And she's one of them.
Oh, I bet.